Hey everyone, Tony here. Hope you're doing well. It is Monday, December 10th. Hope you had a great weekend. I have some positive news to share with you guys, and I hope you're holding strong in this bear market. This is, of course, not financial or investment advice. Now, the first news item here is Galaxy Digital has led a $30 million funding for social crypto startup GoodMoney. Now, Galaxy Digital, as you know, is owned by Mike Novogratz, who's a billionaire ex-Wall Streeter who's now all in on crypto. Him and Goldman Sachs and a bunch of other people have been busy acquiring and buying parts of crypto companies. If you just recall, I think it was BitGo, if I'm not mistaken, where Mike and Goldman Sachs invested in BitGo, the custodian service for institutional money. So the big money is still making moves despite what the price says right now. And it goes back to what we've been talking about. The infrastructure stage is being set up. Everyone is getting their patents, building out their service, getting ready for the takeoff of the market. And right now, the market is, of course, in the capitulation phase where we're searching for a bottom. And I personally think it'll, just giving Bitcoin as an example, would hit around 2,500. That's my personal thoughts. I could be wrong, but just the way things are looking, I think this market needs to come back kind of full circle in a sense. Before we had that parabolic move up last year, I think we're coming back to those lows before that parabolic move, and then I think we'll see a bounce up from there where it's going to be so oversold, and it is oversold right now as far as the trading volume and so forth. But I think that's where we're headed, and we'll see a bounce back up. So let me give you some details here. Digital banking platform GoodMoney just raised $30 million in a Series A funding round to continue developing its app. Led by Mike Novogratz, Galaxy Digital, participants in the funding round, including Breyer Capital, Block Tower Capital, Boost VC, Ken Howery, Blockchain Ventures, Cross Culture Capital, Troy Carter, Mitch Kapoor, Peter Diamandis, Blake, Jesus, this is this guy's name, and Justin Rosenstein. His name is four words here. But anyway, as you can see, a lot of big money, a lot of folks getting involved making their investments. And they're doing this, and this is not getting big, huge media coverage, right? CNBC Fast Money is not talking about this. But these are the things happening behind the scenes, and that's why I always tell you, watch what the big money is doing. Their moves will show you the path to what's going to happen in this market. They are not investing millions here to lose it or to not get a return or for fun. They want to get a return, and they know what is coming because we have big players getting in the market. So the GoodMoney, the startup, aims to act as a bank through which every customer owns some amount of equity, with incentives baked in for those who install the app, refer friends, and set up direct deposits. As part of traditional banking services, GoodMoney says it will offer free ATMs nationwide, no overdraft fees, low customer loan rates, and a 2% federal deposit insurance corporation savings rate. The company intends to release its full app sometime in 2019. The platform works through its app, a mobile digital wallet with a number of features. Users can also direct 50% of the startup's profits to their charity or philanthropic project of choice. So this is interesting. Very, very interesting. This is the first time I'm hearing about GoodMoney, but it sounds like something I definitely need to research a bit more. I'm going to look into it. Maybe it's something that could be big. If you see the big money is getting involved. But reason for me to share these things with you is so that you see the moves happening once again. Because if you're only looking at price, you're going to miss the boat. You're going to be caught in that Wall Street cycle, right? The sentiment, the psychological behavior of people, where they get, from capitulation to depression and whatever it is, because they didn't do research. They don't know the facts behind what they're invested in, and they're just looking at price, which is a bit short-sighted, where you have to look at everything holistically. Now, moving ahead, Many of you are aware of ErisX, which just got investments from Fidelity and a few and Nasdaq as well. And if you recall, TD Ameritrade was the first to really put a lot of money behind this cryptocurrency exchange, which is going to compete with Bakkt. So it's a institutional cryptocurrency exchange offering custody service as well. Well, they've been doing hiring. Crypto trading platform ErisX hires serial exchange founder Matt Trudeau. ErisX is beefing up its leadership ahead of the launch of cryptocurrency spot and futures trading early next year. I think 2019 is going to be big. You got back launching ErisX. You have Fidelity has their own crypto trading services that they're launching, and we can certainly see a whole bunch of other big players getting in the market because no one wants to miss the boat. Revealed to CoinDesk, the digital asset platform has hired markets and exchanges veteran Matt Trudeau as the chief strategy officer. The news comes a week after ErisX closed a Series B funding round that raised $27.5 million from firms such as Bitmain, Consensus, Fidelity, Nasdaq Ventures, and Monex Group. So they're getting money, guys. These Fidelity, Nasdaq, why should they even waste their time investing in a cryptocurrency exchange when the market's so bad right now? They're not looking right now, they're looking long term, and this new asset class is gearing up for a takeoff. So a bit of background on this guy. Trudeau started his trading career in the early 2000s when the U.S. equities market was going digital and has overseen some 10 global market launches, including Instinet, Chi-X, IEX, and most recently Tradewin, where he looked specifically at how to tokenize and trade precious metals. Outside of crypto and financial circles, he's best known as the heroes of Michael Lewis's bestseller Flash Boys, which tells the story of IEX, a stock exchange founded to promote fairer markets by creating speed bumps for high-frequency trading. So they're getting the talent, and we're seeing a lot of talent coming into the crypto market. People are being poached from the Wall Street and financial industry and different backgrounds and very talented people and bringing them into the crypto market. And I think that's a smart move because, as mentioned, emerging market, new asset class. So we can only go upward from here. And I know the irony of saying that, and the market is in a bear mode, prices are going down. But as I always state, markets move in cycles. This young market is going through some rough time right now. It has high volatility. And I think as it's maturing, we have to bottom out. And there's, of course, as I've said before, manipulation. So moving ahead, we had some information here from Jay Clayton, the SEC chairman. And we're, of course, waiting for the SEC to approve a Bitcoin ETF and also provide more detail, clarity on what's going on with ICOs and crypto. They need to be more clear. So he said ICOs are definitely an effective way to raise capital. So he's not against ICOs. He just wants them to abide by the rules of the SEC, which of course securities laws and so forth. So he said, I believe that ICOs can be effective ways for entrepreneurs and others to raise capital, but they need to, once again, abide by the rules. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is because ICOs inherently are not bad. It's just they have to be regulated. And what we saw, and this is true for a lot of investors too, not just from his perspective, but think about all the shitcoin ICOs and the people who lost their money, a lot of ICOs that took people's money and closed shop and no one can find them ever again, or the people running those ICOs. So that's where you need the regulation. They're not against it. And I think, as we've talked about, we're headed to STOs, security token offerings. And the idea is that they're not against that. They just want to make sure it's regulated to protect investors and, of course, abide by the laws respectively, right? So that is a good sign, though, that once again, and if you recall, I shared with you guys, they published a full ICO guide on their website, the sec.gov. So they are on board, just want to make sure it's regulated. Now, Japanese lawmaker proposes 4 changes to ease crypto tax burden. Reason I'm sharing this with you because Japan has been a leader in the crypto space. Bitcoin is actually a legal currency in Japan, and they're so big on crypto, and they've been very open. And we know Ripple is making big headway there with the SBI virtual currencies, SBI Holdings, the whole group there, SBI Ripple Asia. So they are moving ahead way faster in the U.S. and other countries. But the fact that if they were to set a standard, you know, what may happen, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that the trend would be picked up by neighboring countries, China or, you know, whoever, Singapore, whatever, Korea. And then if a solid group of countries do that, you know, in Asia and Europe and so forth, the United States could adopt it. So it's good to see these moves are being made, and crypto's global. So the things that happen can have global impact here. So a Japanese lawmaker has proposed a number of changes to the current taxation regimen in order to ease the burden of cryptocurrency users and encourage adoption of cryptocurrencies in the country. Very crypto friendly. In a meeting held earlier this month, Takeshi Fujimaki, a representative of the third largest opposition party, Nippon Ishin, said that the country's tax system should not crush the future of digital currencies and blockchain technology, and recommend 4 amendments to promote wider spread of virtual currencies into society. And also he goes into him talking about taxes and so forth. There's something I want to call out here, very important. In his third point, the politician said that there should be a tax exemption for trading between 2 virtual currencies. For instance, presently, when you trade between, say, Bitcoin and XRP, this guy knows what he's talking about. He called it XRP instead of Ripple. You need to pay taxes if you made a profit. And I agree with that. Like, I think it's BS that, and especially if you're doing a lot of trades, how do you track all of this stuff where you have to pay taxes on switching between tokens? Obviously, if you're cashing out to fiat, I say, you got to pay your taxes. But switching between cryptos, I don't like that. But let's see what the U.S. does here. And but I think this is a good precedent here. Here, there's a quote from him. He says, in order to increase the volume of transactions between virtual currencies and to revitalize the virtual currency market, trading between virtual currencies should be tax exempt. I'm all for that. Takashi said, adding that the calculation of profits or losses for such transactions is complex, as I just said, and extremely cumbersome. Like, how the hell do you calculate all that if you're doing like hundreds of, transactions, even maybe micro transactions, right? Let's say I just take, 100 XRP and I transfer it to point something Satoshi, Bitcoin, whatever, right? And that's happened, we do that from time to time or whatever. How the hell are you going to track all that? It's like really complex and tedious. So I'm all for this. I hope this is something that gets passed in Japan, other countries adopt, and that will be really great for the crypto market. We have a tweet here from Brad Garlinghouse. You don't hear too much from him, but when he does, he's definitely has some impactful stuff. He stated here, and I totally agree with his sentiment, as 2019 approaches, more people are asking for my predictions. A big one is that we're going to hear more and more about conflicts of interest in the crypto ecosystem. See the Information's report from last month that was slept on. And it says here, cryptocurrency exchanges face disclosure conundrum. He followed that tweet by saying, transparency and disclosures matter, integrity matters. If crypto is going to grow and flourish, we need to be fearless in showing our work and not concealing who's behind the curtain. So I totally agree with him. If you want this market to mature and you want big money to come in, you need to get rid of the manipulation and all the shady stuff that's happening. There's a lot that was done in this early, market that's in its infancy stage, the wild, wild west. But that can't continue if you want big money and if you want the SEC to pass, approve a Bitcoin ETF, and you want all these different companies to get involved, right? It's in order for this to become fully mainstream, a lot of the nonsense is going to have to be weeded out. So I totally agree with Brad here. But I think we're heading in that direction. The SEC is cracking down. They're, as you've seen, they're going after ICOs and different companies, making them register as securities. They're investigating, for example, how Tether was used and all that. So we're headed there. We're headed there. We just got to be patient. Shout out to Leonidas. Once again, follow this guy. This guy does some crazy research, man. I don't know how he finds all this stuff. XRP added to Dipbit Fly exchange, or I guess it's just Dipbit exchange, with BTC and USDT trading pairs. So continued addition of XRP here on exchanges, and this is definitely a good sign. Australian company issues loans backed by cryptocurrency. So this is a new trend we're seeing a lot of. Helio Lending accepts 4 major cryptocurrencies as collateral. The platform currently supports Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and XRP. Now, if you're going to get a loan against your crypto, be careful. This is tricky. You got to really think about this. So, but these things are out here. So, definitely a good sign in in the growth of the crypto market, where common parts of life and transaction and being able to get a loan and things like that are now coming into crypto, and that's part of what is going to help with the adoption and growth, and cryptocurrencies becoming the norm and part of our daily lives. So guys, what do you think about the news here? We continue to see the whales, the big money, make moves, investments, acquisitions, building out services. And it's very important that you know of this, because if this wasn't happening, I would say we have to be worried given the price and what's going on. But behind the scenes, all these guys are making their moves quietly, doing their thing. Sure, it's on a crypto blog, but like I said, it's not on Fox News, CNN, or whatever, CNBC, Fast Money. So the big money is setting up shop, doing their thing, and I hope you start thinking the same way they're thinking, not being, have tunnel vision with just the price, but looking at this holistically. So guys, what do you think about this news? Leave your thoughts and comments below. Thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. And once again, this is not financial or investment advice. Thank you for your support.